In 1945, Gregory Peck and Ingrid Bergman co-starred in Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece Spellbound, while both were married. Gregory Peck was engaged to Greta Kukkonen and Ingrid Bergman to Petter Lindstrom. During filming, they developed a deep romantic love, and their affair became a major part of Hollywood gossip. However, their affair remained a secret until 1987 when Gregory Peck, then 71 years old, revealed their love in an interview. Just a few years after Ingrid Bergman's death, he described her as a lonely Swedish rose, saying, "I was young, she was young." Well then, let's explore the heartbreaking stories of Gregory Peck and Ingrid Bergman, delving into their past with more detail. Gregory Peck's early years were marked by a strong sense of independence and a passion for the arts. He was a talented athlete and excelled in both academics and extracurricular activities. His love for acting and storytelling began to blossom during his time at San Diego State University, where he participated in school productions and developed a deep appreciation for the craft. These formative years laid the foundation for Peck's future success as a Hollywood icon. Success does not solve all problems. In Gary Fishgold's biography Gregory Peck, the actor revealed how his lack of a stable family life affected him. Peck expressed that the absence of family conversations around the dinner table left him feeling lonely and full of self-doubt. Unable to share his emotions, he buried them beneath a facade he thought others wanted to see. This led to broken friendships in adulthood, such as his fallout with director John Huston during the filming of Moby Dick. Despite initially being close friends, Peck distanced himself from Huston after learning he wasn't the first choice for the role. This rejection triggered memories of childhood betrayals, causing Peck to withdraw and struggle with connecting to others. Gregory Peck's initial marriage was with Greta Kukkonen, and as per Michael Friedland's biography, Gregory Peck had a genuine affection for their 3 sons. Despite his desire to provide them with a childhood he never had, he and his wife were frequently in disagreement. She disapproved of the constant need to relocate due to his career and the associated pressures. At the age of 34, the stress and feeling of entrapment became so overwhelming that he believed he had a heart attack. To cope, he turned to pills and alcohol, and after a heated argument, he left to spend a month in self-reflection at a bungalow in the Mojave Desert. It was during this time that he realized he would never find happiness in the marriage, but he believed he could endure it for the sake of their children and appearances. Despite their split during the filming of Roman Holiday, they attempted to continue living together. In 1954, the Associated Press announced their official and permanent separation, with her divorce filing citing severe mental anguish, significant embarrassment, and humiliation. Peck, on the other hand, expressed to People magazine in an interview that the most challenging aspect of the separation was worrying about the impact on his sons. "For 3 weeks, I was consumed with concern for the boys. I secluded myself in my hotel room like a bear in a den." Living with chronic pain can have a profound impact on a person's life, limiting their activities and affecting their overall well-being. Gregory Peck experienced this firsthand, as he endured chronic pain for much of his life due to an injury caused by Martha Graham. During a stretching exercise in one of her stage movement classes, Graham pushed Peck's back, resulting in a loud snapping sound that signaled a serious injury. This incident led to a ruptured disc in his lower back, as well as a displaced vertebrae, causing him to wear a canvas strap for several years. Despite gradual improvement, the pain continued to affect him throughout his life, raising doubts about the future of his career. Gregory Peck was residing in France in 1975 when he received the devastating news of his son Jonathan's suicide. According to Michael Friedland's biography on Peck, he had always been very close to all of his children. Peck was aware of the struggles Jonathan was facing, from the end of a relationship to the pressures of working in the news industry, health issues like vascular disease, and the suicide of a former girlfriend. Peck had even provided his son with financial support and guidance to seek help from a therapist. During that time, Peck expressed deep regret, as mentioned in Friedland's book. He wished he had been in Los Angeles instead of France, believing that Jonathan might have reached out to him if he had been closer. Peck reflected on the missed opportunity to offer his son support during his time of need. Peck was married to Veronique Parsani, his second wife, at the time of Jonathan's passing. Parsani described the grief as overwhelming, leading Peck to question his role as a father and what he could have done differently. Despite the lack of easy answers, Parsani emphasized the importance of family support in helping Peck cope with the tragedy. Gregory Peck's affection for dogs endured throughout his life, and during an interview with Barbara Lovenheim at his residence in the late 1980s, she reminisced about the graceful presence of a very large dog. When Peck reminisced about his childhood, he remembered a joyful time spent with his mother and stepfather in California. The best part? My father managed to save up money for a bicycle, and I found a black and brown mixed breed dog and named him Bud, he affectionately recalled. However, not everything was rosy, and in Michael Friedland's biography Gregory Peck, the actor mentioned that 1924 was a bad year for me. I discovered that there was no Santa Claus, no Easter Bunny, and Bud was kidnapped. Peck was never completely certain about what happened to his beloved dog, pictured. His grandmother attempted to inform him that Bud had run away, but Peck discovered that, after neighbors complained about Bud's barking, his own father had been involved in the dog's disappearance. It shattered Peck's heart. He admitted that he always wondered if Bud was given to a loving family, or shall we say, otherwise disposed of. For the next 40 years, I always took a second look at every black and brown mongrel I saw. Gregory Peck revealed in an interview with Irish America that he frequently visited the country where his father had spent much of his childhood to see his remaining family. He mentioned that his father had a strong Irish accent and loved sharing stories about his boyhood in Ireland, emphasizing that storytelling and singing were the main forms of entertainment. Peck also discussed the challenging history of Ireland, particularly how it affected his own family. He disclosed that his cousin, Thomas Ashe, was a teacher who became a freedom fighter during the Easter Rising, leading raids against British forces. Ashe's arrest and subsequent death after a hunger strike had a significant impact on the movement for Irish independence. When Gregory Peck passed away in 2003 at the age of 87, it marked the end of a significant era. His spokesperson shared the details of his peaceful passing, as documented in his obituary in the Telegraph, was by his side, holding his hand, and he drifted off to sleep. He had been aging and becoming more fragile. He wasn't seriously ill. He just reached the end of his life naturally. His death signified the conclusion of old Hollywood. The president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Frank Pearson, expressed the impact of his loss, stating, "He was the final true aristocrat of the old Hollywood era." Various organizations also mourned his passing. Jack Valenti, president of the Motion Picture Association of America, referred to him as a towering figure in the history of the film industry, he created a series of movies that shed light on profound aspects of character, while the American Film Institute reiterated their commitment to preserving and promoting his cinematic works. Peck was praised not only for his acting prowess and his selection of movie roles, but also for his vocal advocacy on humanitarian issues ranging from peace efforts in Vietnam to cancer research. He once remarked, "I'm not a do-gooder. It made me uncomfortable to be labeled as a humanitarian. I simply engage in activities that align with my beliefs." Ingrid Bergman's exceptional portrayal in Casablanca demonstrated her talent and dedication as an actress. Her beauty, confidence, and determined attitude also endeared her to others. However, her personal life, particularly her affair with Italian director Roberto Rossellini, sparked much controversy and ultimately had a lasting impact on her career. During that time, people struggled to separate the actress from her on-screen persona and accept her as a flawed individual. So many people, who knew me only on the screen, thought I was perfect and infallible and then were angry and disappointed that I wasn't, the actress once expressed. It would take years before she made a comeback in Hollywood, and her public image had undoubtedly suffered to the extent that she received hate mail. While her involvement in a scandalous affair was undeniable, it was not the first, nor the last, challenge that the Strombolic actress would encounter in her lifetime. Nevertheless, with Ingrid Bergman's grandchildren now adults and a legacy of influential films, her complex legacy endures. Ingrid Bergman's life may be associated with glamour, but her origins were humble. Orphaned as a teenager, she lost her parents, Friedel and Justus Bergman. She shared a special bond with her father, who was a creative individual and a film enthusiast. Bergman's daughter, actress Isabella Rossellini, mentioned in a 2022 interview that her mother's independence and strength stemmed from being an orphan. Bergman found solace and a means of self-expression in acting, which allowed her to escape her lonely and melancholic childhood. Ingrid Bergman's confidence in her identity was truly remarkable. When she relocated to Hollywood, film producer David O. Selznick urged her to change her German last name due to the sensitivity surrounding World War II. However, Bergman firmly refused, stating, "Absolutely not. I have a career in Sweden, my name is Ingrid Bergman, and this is the way I look." According to her daughter, Isabella Rossellini, the producer then labeled Bergman the first natural actress, emphasizing her incredible validation to women that beauty and talent can exist without artifice. Bergman's straightforwardness was impressive, and her candidness in interviews surprised many. She was unafraid to challenge the rigid standards for actresses at the time, as she wrote in her memoir, "I do everything they say you shouldn't. I eat and drink what I like. I stay up late." Ingrid Bergman openly expressed her passion for her work and her exceptional talent. The camera reciprocated this love for her. However, this sometimes meant being away from her children, as she often prioritized her career. Bergman's statements regarding acting suggest that it was a clear and unwavering choice for her. According to The Guardian, she once stated, "If you took acting away from me, I would stop breathing." Years later, her daughter Isabella Rossellini displayed understanding and empathy towards Bergman's decisions. In a 2022 interview with People, Rossellini acknowledged the challenges her mother faced by constantly working. "I comprehend how tough it must have been," she said. "I am aware that she, like me, felt guilty about working." Now a parent herself, Rossellini revealed that she has followed her mother's lead in raising her own daughter. "Financial independence is crucial for independence," she emphasized. Despite feeling isolated as a child, Rossellini recognized that her mother's commitment to her profession ultimately bestowed upon her the gift of self-determination. While the tabloid criticism of Ingrid Bergman's affair was widespread, people may not have known she also received hate mail and telegrams in large quantities. She was called rude names, told to leave the country, and called a disgrace to her family. Even for someone as spirited as Bergman, these comments would have taken an emotional toll. But they would not break her. Instead of tossing the letters or refusing to open them, she kept them. Writer Art Buchwald commented on Bergman's handling of the situation in a 1951 feature for Look magazine. He wrote, "She has tried to answer all the friendly ones, and she retains enough of her sense of humor not to destroy the others." These included threats on her life, prayers for her salvation, poems of praise, anti-Catholic and anti-Italian obscenities, penciled notes of sympathy, and printed and unsigned scrawls of disgust. Initially, Bergman wouldn't give her critics the satisfaction of knowing they hurt her, but she later commented on the situation. "It was absolute hell," she told the Washington Post. "I didn't think it would upset the whole world, but it did." The star even began to feel that newspapers were right when they called her an awful woman. It's challenging to imagine a similar historical precedent for the severe repercussions of Ingrid Bergman's affair. Despite the different time period, the backlash that Murder on the Orient Express actress faced was so severe that she departed America for nearly a decade. In 1950, U.S. Senator Edwin C. Jackson labeled Bergman one of the most powerful women on earth, I regret to say a powerful influence for evil. Reflecting on the senator's harsh words, Bergman expressed, I was a danger for American womanhood. She further stated, to criticize people's private life, I thought was wrong, to such an extent that even a senator in Washington gets up on the floor to say out of Ingrid Bergman's ashes will grow a better Hollywood. Her daughter, Isabella Rossellini, has also addressed the cultural upheaval caused by her parents' extramarital relationship and her mother's pregnancy outside of marriage. She told Reuters in 2015, this created a big scandal, and she was chased out of America because they felt that foreigners and stars, we come to America and then behave immorally and are bad examples to the younger generations. The passing of Ingrid Bergman was a tragic event that shook the film industry to its core. Her talent, grace, and charisma had made her a legendary figure in Hollywood, and her sudden departure left a profound sense of loss among her fans and colleagues. The world mourned the loss of a true icon whose legacy continues to inspire and influence generations of actors and filmmakers.